And we are live.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
We're live.
We're live!
Woo!
Did I mention we're live?
Yes.
Well, if you're listening to us afterwards, we're not live, but currently we're live. Welcome to the Fallout Post-Apocalyptic Edition. Cannot forget the hands for some reason. We're still doing this. Where we break down the fallout of all of your favorite reality television shows. Today, reviewing Big Brother Canada 9, Episode 7. I'm Logan Murphy.
I am Jordyn Legacy, also known as
And-
BBCAN Source.
And I'm Santiago Martinez Alamán.
And Santi's back! Yay!
Yay!
It's Wednesdays with Santi! Yay! How are
jealous.
you, love?
I'm good. I'm jealous of the guests you guys had on Monday.
Oh, you mean Chanel?
Yes, I
Icon,
was
legend,
watching
and star Chanel Francis? I love
Yep.
her.
the secret
But-
intruder that will be entering the BBCAN house tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
You heard it here first. Fallout TV exclusive. Chanel. No, I'm kidding. But yes, we are here for episode 7 of BBCAN 9. But before we get started, if you are watching us live on YouTube or Twitch, because we are now there as well, make sure you are subscribing, liking, doing all of the YouTube and Twitch things. If you're listening to us afterwards, wherever you get your fine podcasts, make sure you are also liking and subscribing, commenting if you can do that. And without further ado, let's get into this really, actually great episode. What did y'all think of the episode just on the whole?
The episodes of season have been, honestly, I am loving and living for the episodes. Yeah, we've had a few that have been a little not so great, but I think the game is kicking into high gear now, and we are going to see some excitement. So I'm very excited to see what the rest of the season has.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes actually been very good. Well, no, 3. I would say the eviction, Monday's episode, and tonight's have been exceptionally entertaining.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of good stuff, and we pick up with tonight's episode with the fallout of the nominations. Like we mentioned in our last episode, Kiefer and LaToya are on the block, and we get a lot of various DRs. But we see Tina specifically saying that the Sunsetters were running the house. That's not really the case anymore, seeing as how 2 of them are on the block. And we see the Sunsetters as kind of like a whole, including LaToya being working to keep Kiefer, gunning for the POV. And then we get this interesting walk-in where Rohan walks in on a Kiefer and LaToya conversation, which leads to some Rohan paranoia, which leads to some interesting things moving forward. But what did y'all think about the fallout of the nominations?
I think it was perfect. It was so great.
I'm so glad this cast is actually playing Big Brother. Yeah, I'm very excited to see where this is going. I'm kind of glad Sunsetters is dissolving, if I want to be honest.
I
think
agree.
also, yeah. I was going to say, I think
I
Go
was
ahead.
left on a what? A cliffhanger?
A cliffhanger!
Not that. So yeah, I think we're still going to see the Sunsetter remnants for quite some time as a way to hold people together, but I think it's done. I really think it's done after this week. It's fractured. It's gone.
Yeah, I think
Which
what we're
I am
gonna
okay
see
with.
is I'm kind of okay with it too. I do also like the dynamic of 2 different sides of the house. I think the Sunsetters are gonna stay intact as far as the 4, being Beth, LaToya, Jed, and Ty. Because we were seeing a little bit last week that Kiefer and Tina we're kind of on the outs of this alliance and kind of have been since the beginning. And so we do get a little bit more of the beginning of the true fracturing of the alliance with what I'm calling Pantrygate. This weird, disgusting conversation, and it all kind of starts with the Rohan paranoia. And we see a flashback of Tina talking to Rohan and Kyle about how they're going after her, or she's hearing that they're going after her. To which we then get Kyle and Ro confronting Kiefer in the pantry room with, or whatever it's called. I think it's just the pantry. With Tina and Tara there, and then LaToya joins later.
Pantry of, I don't know, Wendy's.
Yes. But yeah, so basically this whole fight is Kyle being a douchebag. Saying that he's tired of his name being dragged, which up until that moment, I hadn't heard anyone really saying his name. So I thought it was confusing. And then we get LaToya versus Kyle talking, and Toya is talking about how she's tired of the bullying. And then we get LaToya versus Rohan when they move into the actual house. Rohan saying he's like the calmest person in the house, which sure, buddy, but yeah, what did y'all think about
that whole situation in the pantry? Was making me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I think the boys seem to think they're the big dogs when really they're in shit positions. So watch your backs, kids. I don't personally know why we have to have Pantrygate, but it all kind of leads into itself with the episode. What about you, Santi?
See, I'm on the opposite side of you guys. I kind of was on Team Ro and Team Kyle. Here's why. So Kiefer started this in the last episode when he told the boys, hey, LaToya is the one who was driving Victoria was the one driving the flip, like giving them information. Obviously it was false information. And I think that's where Kyle and Rohan really realized where their position in the house was at. Like, we're not in a higher position. We're actually probably two in the lowest position. So they went on the defensive and they went after Kiefer because Kiefer was the one who kind of started all this. And then I think what LaToya did was to try to paint a bigger target on them of being the bad guys and being like the manipulators and all this stuff. But we're all seeing what's happening behind the scenes of like Victoria figuring everything out and aligning with these boys. So I was kind of on their side. I love LaToya. She gives us great TV. I just think she's playing the game way too hard now. Way too hard.
Yeah, I can see it. There's a lot of overplay. Like, people are really... What about you guys in the chat watching us live? What are your thoughts on Pantrygate? Let us know.
Yeah, so in the aftermath of Pantrygate, I hope that catches on.
Yes. Hashtag Pantrygate.
Hashtag Pantrygate. But yeah, so we get a segment with Tina and Tara, who are quickly becoming my favorite duo in the house. I'm not even gonna lie. I have voiced on multiple occasions my love for icon, legend, and star Tina Thistle. But we get a couple DRs, we get a conversation with them, and Tara specifically saying that there's a line drawn in the sand. Drink every time you hear that in a Big Brother house, honestly. And so she's kind of giving us insight about the people who are left out of the Sunsetters group, being herself, Tina, Austin, Brayden, Kyle, Ro, and Vic, which we'll talk about a little bit more coming up, because we do get the first mention of a big alliance that has been in the house for a while now. When we get Tina talking about how she thinks the Sunsetters, she feels like the Sunsetters are like a few people dictating all the moves. And of course, shady BBCAN editors cut to a feed of LaToya during this. So we assume that Tina is talking about LaToya, potentially also the three in this moment. And then the only other fallout we really get is we get a Rohan and Kiefer conversation, damage control, or so we think. And then Kiefer says that he's just done with Rohan. And we get some fake apologies between Kyle and LaToya. But what did you think about this? All of these conversations before we move forward.
All of this as a whole.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even very far into this game, so why are we already apologizing?
Because we're not far into the game.
Yeah. And they're Canadian. We have to remember that.
I'm Canadian. I wouldn't be apologizing.
You're also a bitch.
T.
I think Tina's doing something very smart in the Big Brother house, and that's knowing when to pivot. She sees that the Sunsetters they're done. So she saw it last week, so she's slowly moving away. And I see herself integrating more with Victoria and Rohan and Kyle. And then when that starts falling apart, I see her going right back. It's a very smooth floater tactic, but it's very slow. It has to be done methodically. And that's Tina. Like, Tina's very, like, she knows what she's doing and she knows what she's saying. And I think she has the best read on the house.
Yeah, I feel like she knows what's going on. Miss Tina Thistle is an icon and a legend.
Yep. I like that. I love her Twitter, by the way. I think it's her
Sherry.
Wife. Yes.
Shout out to Sherry.
Hi, Sherry. We love you.
Yes.
Yes, Sherry. Sherry, come on the pod. We'd love to have you. I don't know if you contractually can, but we'd love to have you regardless.
So we see the Oddballs forming.
Yay, Oddballs.
The first actual mention of the Oddballs
like
on the
the
show.
name.
Even though
I don't like the name, though.
I do.
I like the name.
I do. I mean, it makes sense for this group.
Names
because...
like a Gremlins.
Not the Gremlins again.
Not the Gremlins again.
Gremlins.
No, and I mean, it does kind of work with this group because it is it's Victoria, Austin, Brayden, Kyle, and Rohan. Which they all kind of came together because they were like the oddballs.
I didn't think I would see Kyle and Rohan meshing into like a Brayden Austin kind of situation. I didn't think that would happen.
I think it's an alliance of circumstance. I think that they've realized, okay, there's this other group out there. We need to do something now, because if we don't, then we're screwed. And I think it became apparent when LaToya was driving Austin's HOH for the first half of the week last week, and then she lost control and the wheels fell off the bus, and LaToya is now on the block.
It's an interesting group. I'm not sold. I don't think they're going to last together.
No.
I fear
for Vic in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was about to
she
say
definitely
that.
She feels like the fifth wheel.
Yeah, especially because like Austin and Brayden, they still, I'm gonna say it again, they need to get 6 feet apart just because I am tired of why aren't they being targeted? They're like always together.
Because there's bigger targets right now. There's bigger duos to address. You have Kyle and Rohan, Ty and Jed. Jed, Ty, and Beth. Jed, Ty, and Toya. So
Jed, Ty, Toya, and Beth.
All of that nonsense.
We could look at the alliance chart after.
I think in like week 6, we're going to see Austin and Brayden being targeted.
I could see that.
Maybe on the double, people will attempt it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That
Yeah, so after
brings
this,
us into Tina. Is this the veto pick?
well, right before the veto pick, we get this cute segment with Tina and Tara talking about how they don't even think they're on the show. And I was like, that's adorable. I love that. I'm like, yes, you're on the show. Yes, you're getting DRs. Maybe not as many in previous episodes, but you are.
But
I
again, it
think
gives you
part
the
of, like, but like, that's not necessarily a bad thing, ladies.
I think again it proves to the point that Tina has a read on the house, because like if you've watched live feeds like I have, and I'm sure you guys have as well, like they know
I've checked in
if
and out.
if you're being called to the DR a lot, you're the storyline.
Yep.
So if you're not being called to the DR a lot, you're not the storyline. So don't make yourself the storyline. And I think that's what Tina is doing.
Yeah, I could
um,
see that.
I think Danielle and BB All Stars pointed it out. Like, I'm not being called a lot, so I'm obviously not important right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good on Tina.
Yay for Tina.
And good on Tara. I think Tara is slowly putting herself in a better position as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're watching the visual, it's time to talk about the veto.
Woo, veto.
Yay, veto. Okay. So, veto picks were Kiefer, Latoya, Ty. Jed is Latoya's pick. And then Austin. Only one oddball chosen to play in veto. Thoughts? Because that's mostly Sunsetters.
Team Austin. Yay.
Awkward silence.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think Victoria was smart to pick Jed because it helped drive the narrative that Kiefer's my target. Like, I think as much
it was
as
Latoya that picked Jed.
Oh wait, did Latoya pick Jed? Oh,
it was Latoya.
Yeah, then disregard that statement.
I think it was smart for Latoya to pick Jed because he's a great competitor.
Yeah.
I wonder if she regrets that decision.
I would think so.
And we'll get to that with live feed spoilers because, you know, a cliffhanger.
Also, if you're just tuning into us now, stick around for the end because we have a surprise coming.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
A cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger!
Not a cliffhanger. I don't know.
The Fallout drink every time I say cliffhanger!
Everybody but drunk by the end of this episode.
Vic was pissed about the veto pick. That was a tongue twister for me.
What'd you think of the veto?
I would be too. A crossword puzzle? Really, BBCAN?
And it's a crossword puzzle.
I think it's interesting.
How okay. So it's basically drop letters into correct position. Only way to fix mistakes is to release all the tiles. What would y'all have done in this?
I would have set my letters down before putting them in to make sure I had it right.
So like an Austin strategy?
Yes.
Yeah. I absolutely would have gone with Austin's strategy. I think this is a comp I would have won. Just because I know a lot of the BB terms. I wouldn't have put Thursday like certain people did.
Not Thursday.
Yep.
How did he? Jed has a crossword app. I did not expect that.
No. I was happy to see
Tell
his
about
muscles,
now. It was just the eye candy. Now I'm noticing there's some brains to that. And it's kind of hot. Kind of hot.
Just a little bit.
This is also a veto. I was going to say, this is a veto Jed didn't necessarily need to win. I don't
Yeah,
think.
so
Not
Kiefer was
not necessarily,
confused.
but I think
I don't think it was smart for him to win, just based off what we already know at the moment. But he wanted to fight for Toya, which Truth kind of shows that he is very pro Toya. But with him winning, what did that go into?
So we get, yes, Jed wins the veto. I will disagree with you both. I think this was a win situation for him. And we do get a conversation prior to the veto with Jed and Ty talking about how like they have to win this in order to try to keep themselves safe. Because if someone like if Kiefer or LaToya won, obviously they were going to use it. And one of them or Beth was potentially the renom. So I definitely think that it kind of was a must-win situation for Jed and Ty. Luckily for Jed, he did win. But we do get the fallout of the veto is that Victoria is pissed. Again, worst case scenario, someone in the Sunsetters that's not on the block won the veto. And so we see a talk with her, Austin and Brayden. We get a Bossy Glossy's check-in. And she's telling them that she's going to try to convince Jed not to use it. And she does bring up at this point that the potential renoms would be either Beth or Ty. Obviously, it's another Sunsetter, and she's trying to target that side of the house, so that really didn't surprise me. Yeah, and then we get the Canada vote, skip the dishes, have not, loveliness. And Brayden's off slop.
Brayden is off slop. What did he order? Was it a salad?
It was a salad, I think.
I would not be ordering a salad if I was off slop.
Well, no, so he's vegetarian is the thing.
Oh, then I would be ordering a salad.
I would be ordering a salad. Or like vegetarian sushi is probably like the other option really for me. Because when he did Wendy's with Victoria, all he ordered, I think, was a Frosty and a salad. There may have been some fries sprinkled in, but he was eating a salad during that. I remember that.
One thing I think I would love to see from Skip the Dishes, since they are sponsoring, I would like them to do like a special thing where they let Canada try slop. So you get to order slop.
From Skip the Dishes?
Yeah, I would 100% I would order slop because I want to know what it tastes like. I want to see what these bitches are complaining about.
But it would probably be like you and 100 other people. You know what I mean? They would order it.
You know, but it would be the super fans of Big Brother.
Yeah.
And it would be fun.
I feel like there's a slop recipe.
There is a slop recipe online somewhere.
I just found the slop recipe.
Ooh, send it to me. I think maybe I'll make it for an episode and we'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good idea. We could each make our own version at home.
I mean, so here's the thing. I have all of this. So it's just in case anyone was wondering what the slop recipe is. At least American slop is 3.5 cups of steel cut oats. You bring 12 cups of water to a boil. You add the oats to the water and then reduce heat to medium-low. Simmer uncovered for 25 to 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. You then add 1 cup of unflavored whey protein isolate, 1/2 cup of unflavored soy protein, and 4 tablespoons of vitamin and mineral powder, and then stir until fully incorporated. That sounds disgusting.
I am currently changing my mind about slop. I do not want to try it.
Yeah, and so this was, I guess this was promotion used for BB19. I guess this is probably the most important thing to happen in BB19. Is we got the slop recipe. So thank you, Big Brother Wiki. You are always the most helpful in these situations.
And I no longer want to try slop.
Absolutely not.
Sorry, skip the dishes. Cancel that promotional idea.
Yeah, but skip the dishes if you would like to sponsor the Fallout, by all means.
We would love to have skip the dishes.
Yes, we would.
2/3 of us are not Canadian, but the 1/3 that could use skip the dishes, we love to see
We'll
it.
use it. Yeah.
I'll use it.
Or no, get DoorDash, because then we all can use it. Because it's American and Canadian. And we see all the commercials on Global for it. Yeah, and so we get the rest. We get the rest of the episode is really Victoria talking to everybody, everybody talking about Victoria. It's still the fallout from the veto competition. And so we get a conversation with Victoria, Jed, and Ty, where Victoria is we're really starting to see Victoria truly play Big Brother to the casuals. Like, we're seeing it on the show. Adoring. So yeah, she's going to Jed and Ty, deflecting a potential flip, pushing in their minds that Kiefer is the target, and that she says the only option to go up as a renom if the veto is used is Ty, because she's afraid that LaToya is going to flip the vote on anyone else other than Ty. We also, in this moment, before we get the full-on Victoria versus the Sunsetters, we get Jed full-on clocking the Oddballs alliance, saying that Austin, Brayden, Kyle, and Ro have been up in Victoria's HOH all the time. And so then we see a different conversation with Victoria and LaToya, where Vic says that she doesn't trust that LaToya won't flip the vote. Obviously, LaToya denies it, even though I think they're both kind of telling the truth in this moment. And LaToya tells Vic that she is pretty sure that she's Victoria's target, which is the truth. What did y'all think about that?
I love that nobody is. I love how everybody is being. I don't know. I love the confrontation because it makes good TV. I think that also speaks for it's very well that could be that she has good intuition to know that she's in danger, but anything is possible, and there's a lot of game to be played coming into tomorrow night, especially how the episode ended with a cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's interesting how Victoria used Toya's own strategy against her to make her a threat and to blackmail them. But it's also what I enjoy about this cast thus far is nobody is afraid to play the game. Everybody's upfront with their games and what they're doing. Yeah. And it's enjoyable as hell. I hate to see people just sit back and say, I don't want to say a name. Like the first week of All Stars where nobody wanted to say a name. Like, no, this is All Stars. We're playing the damn game. Let's play the game. And Latoya's not afraid to do that. Is it smart? I don't think so, but it definitely makes for really good TV and fun feeds, and we love fun feeds.
Oh, do
we? Fun feeds.
Always team fun feeds.
Yeah.
I did also say, I think I said it in our cast assessment, which you can still go listen to on YouTube or wherever fine podcasts are available to be listened to. I'm pretty sure I said that I thought Vic would be the fun feeds. I didn't realize that it would be her causing all the drama, but I still clocked it.
I feel like Victoria is in danger definitely going into next week.
Absolutely.
Just better hope an oddball wins.
I think Victoria better hope that Austin or Brayden wins. Because who knows about anybody else, honestly.
Yeah, Rohan is a wild card, and I would like to say the false Kyle Moore is also a wild card.
Not that Kyle Moore.
Honestly, I love to see new Kyle Moore subtweeting house guests. That's
amazing.
Funny.
You say house guest, but it's literally been Josh.
Just Josh.
Just Josh.
Just Josh. Just
All of
Josh.
our
It was a great
Twitters
tweet,
are
though.
in the bottom. It was a great tweet, yeah.
Yes. So we see the beginnings. We get a little bit before we get the true Victoria versus the Sunsetters blow up. A Toya and Kiefer conversation where Latoya says, her words, not mine, that Victoria is disgusting. And that if Jed doesn't use the veto, he looks like Victoria's bitch. And I said, oh Lord.
Accurate.
Fighting. But accurate. Latoya is just clocking Victoria's game left and right. Everything she said in this moment before the blow up is 100% accurate. And I was like, you know what? I kind of love to see that. And so then we get another line drawn in the sand. Oh my God, more lines in some non-existent sand. And then we get a commercial because they got to give us a cliffhanger before the fight happens.
This is where I think Latoya is going wrong. Like, if you know somebody's game and you know the moves that are making, then don't go pick a fight with them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you figured out, shit, I'm the target.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on the block and they're HOH. Like, don't do that.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes I've seen it work.
But not really.
Yeah, where your target is like this big because you're on the block and you're like playing the game, and then you fight so much and you just make yourself this big of a target where everybody's like, you know what, let's not get rid of them because they're going to be in here fighting against each other. Let's get rid of the other person. I don't know if that's going to work in Toya's benefit this week or not. We still have a lot of hours left before eviction tomorrow. And as we've learned with this cast, it could all change.
You mean the flip-flopping and the flapping and the flopping?
And the waffling.
And the sandals, the waffling,
the
sandals.
The sand. In general.
Because there are lines drawn in it.
Yep. They should just give them like a sand volleyball court so they can draw a line every time there's a line.
That would be great. That would be great. Big brother, do that.
Sand volleyball court, please.
Yeah. I think the volleyball, that would be too much work for them because they have to drain all the sand to build the comps.
Oh, you're right. Well, unless it's out where the hot tub is.
I would prefer a hot tub. Steamy things happen in hot tubs.
Mm-hmm. As we've seen, season after season after season.
Woo-wee.
So the fight.
The fight. Come on, banners. If you're watching the visual.
I am enjoying my banners. I'm zero regrets over here.
We've upgraded.
Absolutely. We have.
What are we? So, I guess, was it Victoria that said, I'll put Beth up? Is that a better chance that Kiefer goes?
Yes.
Well, yes, because she's the only person that can put people up. So, yes. But yeah, this whole fight boils down to Latoya is saying that she truly believes that she's the target. We get a lot of arguing between Latoya and Victoria. And if you watch this fight on feeds, this lasted for like 30 minutes. It was significantly cut down. But we get Victoria like kind of standing in her ground. She does say, I'll put Beth up. Is that a better chance that Kiefer goes? We see Jed versus Victoria. We see Ty versus Victoria. We see Beth saying absolutely nothing and sitting on the bed.
Which is smart in that kind of situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. which leads us to a cliffhanger.
Which I was.
What thoughts on not getting answers about the veto?
I have something, but I'm going to wait for Santi.
Go ahead, because I think we have the same thing.
So, I did a little bit of digging. And if I remember correctly... No, not yet. This is about past seasons. But soon. If I remember correctly, a cliffhanger has been used in a veto competition, I think once or twice before on Big Brother Canada. And every time it's been used, there's been a secret power played on the Thursday eviction episode. I'm not saying there's a secret power, but there's weird looking balls in the ball pit, and the feeds were down for like 9 hours total yesterday. So
wasn't there I thought there was a purple ball floating around.
Mm-hmm.
There was, and LaToya found it and hid it.
But we should get to that after the spoilers.
Yes.
Well,
yes, we're left with a cliffhanger.
As you can tell, we have spoilers and speculation coming on right now. So if you do not want to have potential spoilers, exit now and return to find out who will be joining us tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. A cliffhanger.
Another cliffhanger.
We're leaving you on a cliffhanger.
Look, this cliffhanger is going to at least be solved by the end of this episode.
Yes.
Yes. So, spoilers, speculation. We talked about it yesterday. We know that the veto wasn't used.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It wasn't used.
But the feeds were down for 9 hours yesterday.
So he was worried about his buddy going up, correct? That's why he didn't do it. So I can see two ways of this. If I was LaToya, I would be pissed that my ally did not use the veto on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think ultimately him not using it was better for his game long term.
I agree.
I still don't think he should have won it. I think had Kiefer or LaToya won it, she would have put Beth up.
She does say to them afterwards that if he had used it, she would have put Beth up.
Yeah,
I
saw that.
I don't believe that, but there's an ounce of me that does, but I honestly my gut is saying I wouldn't believe that because I think she probably would have put up Jed or Ty to get the big target out.
Victoria is playing the game and she's playing it relatively smartly, even though she's had a case of HOH-itis.
I was about to say she has a little bit of HOH-itis.
A little bit. A cliffhanger.
A little bit goes a long way.
I really
don't copyright.
Yeah, I really don't think she would have put Jed or Ty up because I feel like you put LaToya up, LaToya goes out. There's few enemies. You put up Beth goes out, there's few enemies. You put up Ty or Jed, one of them goes out, you're screwed. Because you have who's ever left over, and you have LaToya coming after you. And then you have Kiefer as well.
But she still has, now, she's still going to have Jed and Ty going after her.
I don't think so. I think that they're going to go after Kyle and Rohan. Unless, this ceasefire is legit.
This ceasefire that's apparently happening. So what we've gotten on feeds in the last 24 hours, basically, is that the vote as of basically an hour before we sat down to do this live, the vote was 6-3, voting out LaToya. And as we're going live, we get this conversation between the two bro duos being Ty and Jed and Kyle and Rohan. like Santi alluded to, this sort of ceasefire situation. I didn't see anything where it was a ceasefire to vote out Kiefer. I saw it as a ceasefire to like not go after each other in future weeks, because like both sides think they know what's happening, but in reality, like Kyle and Ro kind of know that, oh, LaToya's actually going, because the rest of the Sunsetters are pretty much like 100% that Beth literally said today that she still thought the vote was going to be unanimous against Kiefer. So forget any good gameplay things that I said about Beth, because they've gone down the drain.
We didn't get any problematic things with Beth this week, I don't think, unless I missed something.
There's probably something.
Did you guys talk about that on Monday?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We've talked about it for a while. I think we
Okay.
talked about it last Thursday.
Oh, no, I was talking about Victoria.
Oh, yes, we did.
Okay.
We did, yeah. She has since apologized on feeds, and she has seemed kind of down the last couple of days, so I do genuinely think that, like, the weight of her realizing what she said has caught up to her. Again, my stand card for the time being is still firmly planted on Miss Tina Thistle.
Come on,
I'm gonna wait.
Thistle.
Yeah, it's Tina Thistle. I'm gonna wait until after Victoria's out of the house to sort of cast a full judgment on everything, but I'm still not thrilled, but I think she realizes what she did. And I think a lot of it goes along with this sort of the HOH-itis that we alluded to. Like, she's really going hard for LaToya. Yeah, and if somehow this flip doesn't if this flip happens, I don't know what's
she's screwed.
She is royally fucked. Because literally the only people she would have on her side are Austin and Brayden, potentially also Tina and Tara. But I don't know.
I think if the flip happens, LaToya gets power, then Victoria goes up, and they're going to do to her like they did to Josh. Where she's the leper, like nobody talked to her. We don't want that to happen. We do not want that to happen. We
do not want her to be a leper.
Yeah, what I want to happen is LaToya to stay, and then one of the 4 boys to win HOH. And then they go after each other, and they forget about Victoria, and she fades into the background for a couple more weeks. And this war between the boys. You don't think so?
I don't think that's gonna happen. Nope.
I feel like even though she's making this move against LaToya, I still feel like the house is underestimating her potential, and they're looking at her as a weak player, and that's gonna bite them in the butt long game. That's my theory, but. You know, she could be out next week, and we could be trying to get her on here. Hopefully not.
Well, the other thing for me talking about like who's going to get power is trying to think. I wouldn't be surprised if, because the feeds were down for so long, and because we had a memory comp for HOH last week, I wouldn't be surprised if this was an endurance comp, and I think it is. That's kind of the way that I'm leaning, and so in that case, because Vic isn't playing, I feel like the people with the best shot would be LaToya if she stays, along with Austin and Tara.
Yeah, the girls are really turning it out with the endurance challenges this year, and I'm loving all the like strong female energy.
Absolutely.
Yep, they are some badasses.
Yeah, so let's speculate here. Who do y'all think is going to leave?
It could be some random ass person if LaToya has the power. Or she could use the power, take herself off, put somebody up, and then Kiefer goes.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, because the number one example I go back to is Brittany in BBCAN 3. When she used the double veto to say,
what was the double veto? Do you happen to know what it exactly did?
I believe it was basically a diamond veto. So she got to replace the nominees. I don't remember who went out. Was it the generic white dude? I don't remember who it was. I don't know.
It could have been
I don't care to remember.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach. Yes, Zach. That sounds correct. Correct us if we're wrong in the chat or the comments or whatever.
Come on, chat.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure it worked as a diamond veto. So I do think that LaToya has a power.
Okay.
I think LaToya is going to use the power. And if that's the case, if it is a diamond veto sort of situation, they're going to rename it because it's Canada. But if it is a diamond veto situation where LaToya can replace the nominees, I fear for Austin or Brayden.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think anything. It's Big Brother Canada. Anything is possible, especially given the suspectness of being down for 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then
there was also a task yesterday.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the task, so we don't know what the task was. All we know is that Brayden is now currently dressed as a bingo ball.
What?
And that's it.
Oh, you didn't see that?
Send me a photo. I'll pop it on the screen.
I don't know if I can find one immediately, but yeah, Brayden. So there was some task. Brayden, I guess, lost whatever the task is, and he's now dressed as he got the unitard. He's now dressed as a bingo ball.
I bet he is rocking this bingo ball.
It's very like primary colors, like red, blue, yellow. It's like the bingo ball is B9, which obviously, cute. But yeah, I am
moving to Twitter to see if I can find a picture.
I'm trying to find this double veto from BBCAN 3.
Come on, veto.
The vault.
I think we're wrapping up shortly here.
Yeah, so she took herself.
What are your guys' thoughts on power? Cole in the chat from YouTube. If Lud show. Look at this. He's here without being actually here.
Yes.
Come on, Cole.
Cole.
So it was a coup d'etat.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so it was Brittany and Godfrey up. She used it. She took them off, and then Zach and Bruno went up with Bruno.
And Bruno was evicted. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do remember that.
So that we could see Kyle and Ro up tomorrow if that's the case.
I would die. Who would go in that scenario?
Right. Honestly, right. Rohan.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I think Kyle is basic enough to be around for a little longer. In the episode, the reason I would say Ro would go is I think they learned their lesson. He came off a little aggressive in those like the fight. Like I felt like he was intimidating.
I agree.
So yeah, I would see Ro going because they realized their mistake that they should have kept Josh.
Mm-hmm. But who knows what's going to happen? We won't until tomorrow. And you will get to hear all of our thoughts about
who
the
left,
third eviction.
Who lasted, who stayed, who goes. Nobody knows. Because why? It's a cliffhanger.
Woo!
A cliffhanger. But yes, we will all be back. I think we will have Santi for a Thursday episode for once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
back tomorrow.
Santi
so we're getting
back tomorrow,
and a special fourth voice.
Who will it be? Shall we
Well,
find
we
out?
know.
find
But yes,
out.
absolutely.
Let's let the people know.
In Vancouver on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish. I'm excited that I will be chatting about Big Brother Canada Season 9, and we'll be chatting about the eviction. Oh my goodness. So go check out BBCAN Source on Twitter for all the information, and we'll be chatting. Also, check out my TikTok at Suzette Amaya. Love you.
It's Suzette!
Suzette's going to be joining us tomorrow night.
Yay!
Exciting.
I'm excited
so
to
good.
have Suzette. She's been on the pod before. Past episode is on YouTube. And with that, we will be back tomorrow night with Suzette. Santi's back, Logan, and we will
I'm
see you
always
guys
here.
tomorrow.
I'm
Logan's always here, you know.
always here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.